Good morning, Ivy Unleashed listeners.
Oh,
This is going to be an unhinged episode because not only is this our season finale, which is just fun in general, but life is lifey right now. We've got a wicked, gnarly cold. We just moved. Brother got married. It's been crazy.
and we are in the biggest blankets you'll ever see. Brooke got all cozy with a nice blanket. My house is cold.
It's 5 degrees in here.
And she has a cold. And so she was like, I'm going to be real cozy. I'm like, I'll be cozy too. So we've got these big Costco blankets on. Highly recommend getting your blankets from Costco. Because
Let's talk about your favorite Costco finds.
Ooh, my favorite Costco. Well, blankets are up there.
Mm-hmm.
I try to stick to the list. I really do. I went yesterday, spent
Boring.
$565.
Holy bucket.
$565, no alcohol. This is straight up food. The only impulse buy I had off my list truly was tilapia.
Oh.
Yeah. Everything else was on my list.
But like what's on the list that like are your go-tos that you only get at Costco?
I get a ton of fruit. I hit that up first. Then I always get their organic chicken. I love hitting up those middle aisles by the meat that have like little steak bites for your salad, little chicken skewers for the salad. Those are so nice to have, and you can make a salad in 5 minutes.
What about the street tacos?
Ooh.
Like the ready to make or pre-made dinners?
Yeah,
Those
if we
kinda
are
nice.
ever hosting, and even sometimes if we're not, Justin, I'd be like, it's so great for lunch just to have that. It's just a little taco pack. They've got the tortillas, they've got the chicken, they've got salsa in there, they've got some type of creamy something that I don't eat in there, and lettuce, cabbage. It's really good.
$500. Hoofda.
Yeah. Yep. And it's like I put it all on the counter, and even Griffin came in. He's like, "Wow, okay, you didn't get that much stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, what you're looking at is $565, buddy."
That's crazy.
I know. It's getting really expensive. My cart was very full, and I had a lot of protein. So I think
how long does
adds
that
up.
last you?
2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. There are some items though that like will stay in like the freezer, and it'll be like pull out like a pack of edamame. Like there's like 10 little packs in there that'll last us probably the whole month.
Yeah.
You know, there's some things like that.
Okay. But blankets
Blankets are
are a top fave.
that's where I would get them because they're not as expensive as they are at Target. They're always bigger. And I don't know. I love these blankets.
I like the seeds, like hemp seeds, chia seeds, all of those compared to the Target prices are just so good.
You should see my pantry. I've got chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, cashews, almonds. What else is in there? I don't know, but I love looking
Cashew
at
clusters.
Cashew clusters. Oh, those are back. I saw those yesterday. I didn't buy them, but my cart was just so full. I'm like, you know what?
If you've never had the cashew clusters from Costco, you are missing out. So I've recently started rewriting my goals, which we want to talk to you guys about today, is really this idea of visioning.
Yes.
We're ending the year. We're starting a new year. We've got some new habits rolling, some things we've realigned on that we're really excited to share with you. But one of those things is writing out my goals twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the book, Get Rich, Lucky Bitch. We've talked about it before. It's my favorite money manifesting book for sure. Such a good read. And she has a quote in there that says, the difference between millionaires and billionaires is that billionaires write out their goals twice a day. And that was just enough for me to be like, all right, I'm doing it. And it feels so good to do.
It does.
So that's one, and we'll talk about that more in depth. But another thing is the upgrade list of what are things you just put up with that make you feel less than, make you feel like you're settling, living that poor life that just is like, I'm just putting up with this. I don't want to spend the money. Nah. And one of those things is a Costco membership. I miss having a Costco membership. I don't miss spending $500.
Yeah.
But there are some, like the organic chicken and the frozen stuff is just such a steal, I feel like, at Costco. So that's on my upgrade list.
I love it.
Another thing on that list was a brand new home. And check, we got her.
Ooh, congratulations. Brooke sold her condo.
Thank the Lord.
And she is in a beautiful new place. Tell them about it.
Yeah, I feel like everything I do in life is kind of non-traditional.
But also, before you even explain this place, I literally saw a reel yesterday of the guy from Selling Sunset that owns the mortgage brokerage that said right now it makes more sense to rent than to own a home.
Yeah, so I bought
buy a home, I should say.
I bought a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo a little over 3 years ago now, and I bought it with the intention to have it be a rental property. I was like, I'm going to invest. This is going to be great. And when I did find a potential renter, I emailed the HOA doing what I thought was the right thing and saying, hey, I want to make sure I'm following the right process for renters, blah, blah, blah. And they responded saying, oh, we no longer allow rentals. And I was like, okay, that's great. Well, fast forward over the last 3 years, our kitchen flooded. We lived in a hotel for a week. Things were breaking. Put so much money into this place for it to not be a long-term property. And it caused a lot of stress. And I decided I don't have to do this if I don't want to. And so I begged and I pleaded for Ian, and he said, if this will make you happy, we can absolutely do this. So we put the condo on the market June 1st. And it sold the day before we left for Europe, which was a hectic time, but it was great. And then we got an apartment.
Which was September. And what I feel like more people need to talk about is, I feel like the only stories you hear about people selling stuff is, oh, it was on the market for 2 hours. Oh, we sold it in 48 hours. Like, those are the stories I heard.
I was like, is this ever going to sell?
Yeah. And my house never sold. So now it's a rental property, and it's turned out to be a blessing. But in the moment, I was like, I feel like the only stories I ever hear of it is like they go so fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
Spoiler, did not go fast. I don't know how people with kids and animals do it, because that was wild of showings and having to leave and come back. And I'm just very ready for it to be over. We did the big move yesterday. We had Ian's stepmom and dad and our 2 good friends help us. That was such a blessing. And now we're just kind of like, we're mainly living in the apartment, but we still have stuff at the old place. And so I love this of the like finding everything a home and organizing. And it just like,
jealous.
Other than having a cold and wanting to just sleep my life away right now, I am so happy. It just feels like such an upgrade. It feels like I'm investing in myself, and doing it in a way where like we can financially be in a really good place, or a better place, I should say, which feels good. It feels like we're upgrading and we're financially responsible.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, the stress, that was sounding like more like a liability than an investment to have that place, you know, like not knowing what was going to break next, or like having to throw a bunch of money at something you didn't expect. Yeah. Like, you don't have to do that anymore.
No, I've got Bob, the maintenance man, on speed dial. He's already painted the entire inside. They fixed the fireplace in less than 24 hours. I'm like, Bob, you're going to be sick of me. And I love you.
You know what my Bob's name is?
What? Justin. Yeah, well, we don't all get Justins around here. We're getting more square footage. And I feel like everyone that we've told this to, they're like, why are you renting? You know, like we're in this phase of life where we're about to get married, eventually, God willing, have kids, and you buy a house. It's like, that's what you do this stage of life. And we're like, no. So it feels kind of like, and the comparison creeps in. But then I hear, oh, we have to spend 10 grand on a new roof. Oh, this broke. And I'm like, this is the best decision I think I've made in years. Yeah. So I am okay with going the non-traditional path. We don't need a crazy amount of room. Like right now, I want to focus on my health, getting married, our business, and I don't need to be a maintenance woman.
When I think something too underlying all of it, like there's any decision you make, any conversation you have, underneath all of that is something deeper, something that you want, or you're attracting, or you're, trying to focus on. And for you, the last time we had a solo episode was focusing on your peace. Like, and this is a decision that completely aligns with your goal right now, is to be okay, to feel good, to be at peace in your body, and to be in a beautiful space. You're like overlooking a pool. You moved closer to me, which is great.
I know.
Everything is new. There's not going to be mold, things you have to worry about, things breaking. Like, I think the more when we're all in these conversations with who's ever in our life, you know, we're having conflict or we're having the same issue kind of happen over and over, there's something underneath of that. And I think I'm also writing down my goals twice a day. And I think we should really talk about this because it's been profound what's happened to me in the last 9 days of doing this. Ooh. So Brooke and I recorded on this we're talking to Kaylee Rose about this. And I was like, oh, Brooke showed me her journal. She was writing things down. I'm going to be journaling too or whatever. So I literally started that day, right? Like I said, after you left, because you said you wanted me to send a picture. So there was some accountability in there. And so what I'm doing is I have a top 5 of my day of like things I want to do, but I'm going to get more into this too, because this has turned into something cool. 5 big goals that are like the meat and potatoes of what I really want out of my life. And then I write an affirmation underneath of it, the same one. So it's those 2 things of, you know, the 5 things I want to get done in the day, my 5 big goals that are like really thoughtful of like what I want out of my life, the affirmation. And then at the end of the night, I just rewrite the big 5 meaty goals. So the top 5, like maybe I get them all done. Maybe I don't. Most of I try to, but the top 5, like that doesn't change for me. But what I've started doing in like my 5 things I want to get done for the day is I'm always putting something I know I'm going to do, like Ivy Unleashed recording. But like, I do want that to be something that I nail. Like, it's like something I really want to do well. I want to, like, when I cross it off, I want to feel good about it. But one of the things I've been putting in there, I try to do like 2 or 3 Gold Ivy things, 1 home thing. And then 1 thing is like what I want to embody. So I was a single mom for the last 3 days. And so one of them on Monday was like, have patience through. Just knowing like through this whole day, I'm not going to rush them with anything. I'm going to have patience when I'm tired at the end of the day. I'm going to have patience when they're kind of, you know, moving slow towards the door. You know, like I don't want to, that was just important for me not to be like rushing things or like having that kind of irritable headspace. Another thing I put another day was just like finding joy throughout. So like in the midst of the day, when you have 3 kids, you're going to have an argument with one of them or something's going to go wrong. And it was just like still finding joy in the midst of that, or like having the mindset of like, how can we make this a better scenario, you know, because you can't control everything. So I've been using it that way too. And it's been really powerful. And I, this morning, like ran down the stairs to write my goal. I was so excited to write them. And so it's been something I look forward to instead of like dreading it. And that's surprised me. I thought it was going to be like a have to do thing.
It's addicting. I get that feeling too of like, I want to open it up. I want to write it because it just puts you in that headspace. It elevates your vibe of like, this is possible. You're writing it down. And then if you also, this is something I want to start. I was doing 2 separate like locations or notebooks for the top 5 priorities of the day and then the goals, but I want to put them in one so that anytime I go back to that to-do list, I'm also seeing those goals.
Yes.
So I'm seeing it more than twice a day. And what happens when you're always seeing something? Well, the universe is going to put things in your path. Your reticular activating system, part of your brain, is going to look for it. Like, one of the goals I wrote down was to have a certain amount in my savings account, and this money is just appearing. We got a check reimbursement from Chase. We ended our Chase account years ago now. Yep. I got our Wi-Fi went out, and so I was messaging the tech support, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna give you $50 off your monthly bill for the next year." I'm like, "What? Okay." It just you write it down of what you want, and you're open to all of the possibilities. Like it. And then the affirmation, what I've been doing at the bottom is like an arrow up. And then I just write this or something better. Ooh, this or something better.
I like that.
These sentences, these phrases that just like make you feel powerful and make you feel kind of unhinged. I think we always talk about this, just what's the word we always use? Brain fog cold here. Delusional energy
or delusional optimism, delusional. Yeah.
Yes. Like if it makes you feel delusional, you are on the right path.
Yeah.
Because
like
who cares?
Yeah. I love it. And I think too, just for tips, because I think sometimes people are like, I don't know, what am I going to write down for these goals? Like, is this an exercise goal? Is this a weight goal. This is something deeper. Like, so what I would suggest you do is just take a minute to journal of like what I do is I think about, I want to be the person that does what? If my kids were to be talking to somebody else and they're like, oh, this is what my mom does, or this is the type of person my mom is, that helps me. Or like, think of your best friend or your partner. Like, how do you want them to describe you? Like, what is so important for you to show up as, of things that you do that are like full of integrity? That kind of helps me. And then thinking like, you know, we're envisioning our future. Like, what do we want that to look like? If you were to do a day in the life, the ideal day, what would you be doing? And how much money would you be making? How would you carry yourself? What would you donate money to? Where would you be going? What would you be wearing?
And get so specific. Like the exact amount of money, the exact clothes you're wearing, the exact gym routine, whatever it is, what that looks like specifically, and then put a date on it.
And for me, mine are more like feelings. So like financial ease of how much money you want to make a month. For me, it's travel freedom. So I want to feel free. And then I put dash anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
I want to have the feeling that I can go anywhere I want, anytime I want. And just feeling that freedom as I'm writing it down, like, how good will that feel? Because as you're embodying that feeling, you know, the law of attraction says that when you embody that feeling, it's raising that vibe to what that's going to be. And then the universe matches it. But
I also think you have to get specific to like, okay, that feeling's great. Like I feel free, but what's going to actually happen to allow you to feel free, right? Like the being able to book a ticket anytime. I can book a ticket to New Zealand. Like you said, that's on your vision board you created. Or I'm feeling financially peace. Okay, what does that look like for me? I have this goal of I want to be a Ramsey millionaire by 40. I want to have this amount. My first money step is this amount in my account by this date. So it's like, yes, this is the feeling, but break it down to what's actually going to give you that feeling. Because the universe wants specifics. Wants to know.
Which we're learning from these books too. She's reading that. I'm reading
You're a Badass.
You're a Badass at Making Money. Jen Sincero, she's also so funny. We got to get both these ladies on the podcast. They're hilarious. And I think a big part of it is being okay with talking about money. Because what I'm reading right now, like what I was reading this morning, is she was saying like, anything you're doing, money's attached to it. The energy of money, you know, like what you're wearing, you had to pay for that. The house you're living in, you're buying it. Like, it's okay to talk about money because it literally is attached to anything you have or that you're doing. And so being kind with words and talking about it more and feeling more positive about it and wanting it is a beautiful thing, because then you're gonna be able to live the life that you want. And so I think sometimes us talking about health and wellness, we talk about money a lot, or we'll have episodes on it. It's because it is such a huge part of our mental health. You know, thinking of being absolutely broken and having no means to get food, like it affects your mental health. Like it's so important that we talk about money, and it's so important that we cultivate these words around money and these feelings around money that empower us, because the more women and men we can have with lots of money, the better our world's going to be, especially because if you're listening to this podcast, you care about your health, you care about people, you care about your relationships. And so you're going to pour into things like therapy, you're going to pour into having a healthier environment and taking care of people. And so I think it's okay to have one of those goals about money, and it's okay to tell your friends. It's okay to talk about, get excited about it. Something Brooke and I do that's kind of silly is when we make money, we play a song and we dance to it and we celebrate. And it's just showing money or the universe or ourselves, like, it's okay to feel good. And we want more of this.
Yeah. Especially if you grew up with not a great relationship to money, whatever that looked like for you. For us, it's rewiring our brain that it's okay to want more, to have that self-worth where you want to charge what you want to charge and not feel guilty about it. For me, the more money we make, it impacts my health greatly. It's okay, I can afford organic groceries. I can afford functional medicine. being healthy is a privilege. Having clean air and air filter, everything costs money. And when you don't have that money, it is such a stressor, and then that affects your health. So doing these little tricks like the music and the journaling, all of that is really just creating a better relationship with money, and in return charging what we're worth, pouring into our self-worth, our self-confidence. Like, yes, it's about money, but when you start to do this work, you realize it's so much more than money. It's I believe I'm worthy of having the things I want, and I don't feel bad wanting these things. I don't feel bad writing I want this amount of money, or I want to travel to this place, because you realize I have one life. And I want to get the most out of it. And if it means I'm dancing to certain songs and blowing on coins and doing weird things, if the shit works, the shit works.
Yeah. Well, and I love that you said about worth, because their goal doesn't have to be about money. So let's say you make a goal about your health, right? You have a goal of showing up for yourself more often. But I think even just going back to writing down goals, it's having that time to show I'm worthy of sitting here and even thinking about what I want. Like, that is step one, because people avoid doing this because you don't even believe that you're worthy of being in charge of your life. And when we're talking about visioning your life or redesigning your life, however it makes you feel powerful, you truly are in charge of how you feel. Brooke has a cold, but I'm telling you, this girl, when she feels a certain way, she does something about it. She makes an action plan, right? She's not just oh, I got a cold, looks like I have to sit around here, thinking about how to take charge of your life. And step number one is sitting down and thinking about this. And maybe you even use AI. Maybe you don't know yourself and you're like, hey, I'm trying to work on what I want in life. I want a goal around health. I want a goal around money. I want a goal around my relationships. I want a goal around my professional life. I want a goal around sleep, sure, something. So you can even use AI to help you. If you don't know how to get this started, just type in, help me set these goals. This is what I'm thinking. And just type things you're thinking, type things that come to mind. Say, put this in an organized 5 goals and see what comes up. And then write them in your own words, because sometimes we need a little help.
Yeah.
But taking that time, because you are in charge of your life. You're in charge of how you feel. You are not a victim of what's happening in the world. And if that's how you kind of feel right now, like it's spinning, it's going so fast, you don't feel in charge of anything, take a second. Sit in some silence, find a space, tell who you need to tell. I need a minute to myself. Get up a little bit earlier, whatever you have to do. Stop the madness and think about what you want. And take some action, because you are in charge of how you feel. You truly are. And Brooke and I are constantly doing things to kind of shake things up in our own lives of this isn't working for me anymore. I'm doing something different. And I would empower you to do the same thing, because you're going to have to say no to things in order to say yes to yourself. You're going to have to shake things up a little bit. You might have to set a boundary. You might have to do the holidays a little different this year. And that is okay. I got a friend, Britt. She said, I want to be in my pajamas and eat Chinese food on Christmas. And you know what? That sounded a little weird to some of her family members, but I am so proud of her, because she sat in her pajamas. They had Chinese food. It was the best Christmas of her life. Okay. And thank you, Britt, for being an example for the people that, if it feels like madness, it feels so crazy. You feel like you don't have a grasp on your life. You do. You just have to do things different. You just have to shake it up.
Yeah. I think the best piece of advice, what has been life-changing for me, is having that quiet time in the morning. Getting lost in your personal development, whether that's reading a devotional, writing out your goals, reading an empowering book, taking an hour in the morning. Maybe that looks like getting started with 15 minutes. But having this ritual of your morning that you look forward to, you want to wake up to write your goals. You get excited for this time where you can actually think clear and you can breathe easy before your day starts. You do this for 3 days. You set an alarm, you wake up early, you pick 3 things to do. I'm telling you, it will change your life. You will look forward to it. Your body will start to wake up. You will set your circadian rhythm. For me, I'm having such a hard time because I am sick right now and I know my body needs sleep. But last week, I was up at 5 a.m. I was doing this. I felt so good. And then I got sick. And that's going to happen. So right now I'm telling myself, it's okay. Life is going to get lifey. Now you know what you want to get back to. You have this evidence of something that works, that is helping with your stress, helping with your mental health, that you look forward to. That's how I know habits work, when we take a break and we miss them, right? When you're in it, you're like, okay, I'm doing the things, and then you fall off and you're like, actually, that did make me feel really good. Let me get back to that. So my advice for everyone would be, as you're getting ready for 2026, you're thinking about your goals, you're thinking about this life, just carve out some quiet time so you can actually start to think about, what is it that I want? What would I be so proud of? Ending 2026 saying, I accomplished these things. And no judgment, just be curious. Just allow whatever comes to come. It's going to surprise you. You're going to think, do I really care? Oh, okay, I do care about this.
Yeah. And I think too, something that's important when, like you said, you miss a habit is kind of, do you have a paper trail of this? Do you have something that when you lose a loved one, you get really sick, something really throws off your routine, and you need reminders? Like in 2025, I've been tracking how much strength training I've been doing, yoga, and miles. And that's something new for me, right? But me seeing that, that's more of like a physical thing. I saw evidence in June of what my body looked like when May was on fire with strength training. So I know if I want to look like that again, how many days of strength training did I do that month? Let me aim for that, right? So it's like I have this evidence to look at. Now, how I'm feeling right now is absolutely on fire. And if I want to get back to this, because something will happen, right? I'll have a sick kid, a stressor will come, my schedule is going to be nuts in the spring, and I'm going to probably not have as much time for myself. What was I doing during this time that I can get back to? Oh, I was writing down my goals every morning and every night. I'm going to get back to that, right? So just start to take action, because then you can look back at these journal prompts. You can look back at what you're tracking, and you can kind of see like, I've lost myself a little bit, because that happens, especially in motherhood. You lose yourself. You're taking care of other people. That's your job. It's precious time to pour into other people, but we cannot lose ourselves. And sometimes we do. And that's okay, but give yourself some evidence to come back to, because you can track a few things. You can journal a little bit. I promise you, everybody can do this no matter how many kids you have. It's really important. And then you're showing your kids that you have goals, you have dreams for yourself. They need to see that, because you want them to chase their dreams. They're not going to be doing that if they don't know how to do it. Like Ed Milet says, things are caught, not taught. They see you. My kids see me writing down in my journal. They're asking me about it. They see my vision board. They're asking me about it, right?
They're helping us get the damn puppy.
They are. They're putting those vibes out into the universe, right? They're praying about it at night. You know, there's so many things that is so important. And there's nothing to feel bad about if you do lose yourself. You lose track. Like, that happens. You get the cold. It's the holidays, whatever. But get yourself back on track by knowing you are in charge of how you feel. And it doesn't have to be this huge commitment. It can literally be 15 minutes a day to write some things down and start to try embody how you want to feel and what you need to do to get yourself there.
Yeah. And I think sometimes having examples of what that looks like can be really helpful. Like, I just want to show you what I'm tracking to really show you how simple it is. So right now, in addition to writing out the goals on pen and paper that I highly recommend, there's something about actually physically writing it out. I have just the Habit app. It's called Habit. It's free. And things that I'm tracking every day: read 10 pages of personal development, meditate, work out, meds, money check, my top 5, 10,000 steps, 100 ounces of water, 100 grams of protein, journal, gratitude. Like, that's it. Super simple. Maybe for you, you pick one. Maybe you just start with your water. But I heard Tony Robbins once say, you can't manage what you don't measure. If you're not tracking it, you honestly have no idea. Until you build that habit around it, you're just leaving it up to chance. And so figure out a system, get an app, notes app on your phone. Make it so simple that you can't not do it, and just pick one. Let that be the habit. And then when you're ready, slowly build. These small changes, they create massive ripples. You do it in a way where it doesn't feel overwhelming. It feels exciting, motivating. You recognize the reward because you're doing it in a way where you don't hate it. Oh, I have to work out. It's like, no, okay, I look forward to this. If you hate working out, find a different exercise.
Yeah.
Find something new. Same thing with anything habits. Find a way to enjoy it. Sometimes starting really small can help.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say is just kind of thinking about an energy audit. So these are things you can do, but there are people in your life. There are things in your life. There are places that you go and things that you consume that can negatively impact your ability to redesign your life, to thrive, to be able to envision these things because you don't have the energy for it. So I highly recommend you audit who's in your circle, who are you hanging out with? How much alcohol are you drinking? How much social media are you looking at? Because these things really impact your ability to have a clear mind, to know what the path is, to feel good about yourself. And there are things, like I said earlier, that you need to say no to or limit if you can, or go into the social environment where you know how you want to interact with people, you know how you want to feel, you know how you want to make other people feel. That's something I learned when I was at my yoga retreat is just like, I want to have my circle a little bit tighter and deeper. I want to make the people I love so much feel even better than I make them feel right now. Or how can I be more thoughtful or help them more or make more fun memories with them and create more joy with them. And that's not possible if we're clouded by a hangover. If we're hanging out with people we don't really care about that much, or they're kind of a bad influence on our goals that we have. And so kind of pairing what do we want to say yes to? And then also address what you want to say no to, because scrolling on social media or staring at a screen and watching show after show after show is not something that's going to move you forward. There's time to rest. And, I'm not saying you have to completely say no to these things, but just figure out like, what's that kind of healthy balance? And when is it kind of diminishing my light or my drive or my energy? Because I think that's an important piece of this puzzle too.
Yeah. It's auditing your energy, your goals, what excites you, what lights you up. And our hope for this episode is that it ignites you, that it inspires something, whether it's you start writing your goals in the morning before you go to bed, you start one small habit as you enter the new year, and just start to think about it. You don't have to take action. Maybe you allow this time until December 31st to really think about, okay, what do I want to hit hard January 1st? Or you're motivated and you want to get started now, because there is no time like the present. Starting to write out your goals is something you can do right now. And I think the biggest bang you can get for your buck. It's something we're really excited about. We hope you feel that. And we want to know what you're doing, what's working for you.
Yes. I'm getting really excited thinking about 2026. I mean, once this episode airs, not even a month later, Brooke's turning 30. Then it's going to be all the fun holidays. Then it's the new year, and now you've got some awesome tips for goal setting. And then Brooke's getting married in 2026.
Hold up.
And 26, it's like, I got married on the 26th, and I just think it's such a powerful number. The year is going to bring a new partnership. Like, I know you and Ina have been together for a while, but like, how exciting to think about the next time we talk and you hear an episode from us, unless there's going to be a surprise one, is going to be a brand new year with so many beautiful things in it. I can't wait. And we're just so grateful for you for tuning in, for being a part of our story, our journeys as we're stepping into new decades and marriages and children and all of the things. We're so grateful that you've been here for 5 seasons. This is one of the lights of my life, is hearing from you what you want to hear from us, hearing from you how it's making a difference. And so thank you for tuning in, for being here. And we cannot wait for you to tune back in 2026.
Yes, I would say for a piece of gold today is listen to your truth and go chase your gold.
Do I say anything after this?
No.
Hey.